I am starting this episode in front of one of the most beautiful restaurant buildings in the city. It stands right on custodian of the two Holy Mosques Road in Khobar city. The street around it looks like a movie set. I stopped when I saw the red building with the painted gear on the scooter. It caught my eye immediately. And that's where I'm going to eat today. This place is called Marboha and they serve real traditional Egyptian food. But this is not just about food. It's about stepping into a full experience. From the way the chairs are set outside, to the smell of lamb ribs cooking in the back, to how the waiter brings in the Hawawshi sandwich on a wooden tray. It all felt like Egypt, but I never left Saudi Arabia. Stay with me because this is just the beginning. There is so much flavor to discover and so many dishes to talk about. And in the end, I will give my honest rating for the food, service, and atmosphere. So make your tea, get ready to taste a story in every plate, and come with me to Marboha. Hi guys, this is Yazan. Today I will take you with me to Marboha restaurant, one of the Egyptian restaurants in Khobar city. I will be ordering several dishes from their menu and I will be sharing my honest review. No filters, no fluff. From starters to dessert, we'll be diving into the full experience. So join me today for lunch and let's discover if this place is really worth the hype. If you're ready, I'm ready. Let's give it a try, guys. I came early before the lunch rush. The restaurant had just opened for the day, so the second floor was calm and full of light. I sat near the window where the sun poured in. From there I could see the city and the street below. The tables were simple and clean. Each one had plates and utensils ready, and the chairs were painted mint green and soft orange. They looked old-fashioned but cozy. Some were placed near the corners for quiet dining. The walls were decorated with playful pieces. I saw a bright green frame holding two mirrors. Next to it, a wall shelf made from an old blue shutter. It had tiny kettles painted pink and red. Another shelf had a small green radio and a clay jar. Above us, painted teapots were hanging from the ceiling. One of them was pink with red flowers. Another one was red and dotted with yellow fruits. The lights were hidden inside woven baskets. They gave off a warm golden glow. On one wall I saw a colorful fan made of mosaic. Another corner had fake plants in a golden pot. And everywhere I looked there was something fun to notice. Like old telephones, steel lanterns, and handmade plates. The restaurant felt like a cozy home from Cairo. Not fancy but full of charm and memory. I liked the soft colors, the playful touch, and the quiet start. It was a perfect place to begin a slow meal, and the food had not even started yet. The menu was digital. I scanned the QR code placed on the table. It opened quickly and looked clean, and the pictures were clear and colorful. Each dish had a short description and a price. All the items had photos next to them. There were no filters for health or diet needs, so I had to read carefully before choosing. I did not see any notes about calories or ingredients. No labels for allergies, spice levels, or vegetarian options. That made it a little harder to decide. It's a nice menu, but it could be more helpful for health needs. Still, the pictures made everything look tempting. The sections were easy to follow. Salads came first, followed by appetizers and grills. Oven dishes and stews came next, then drinks and desserts. I liked that every item had a clear price beside it. That made the experience feel more open and honest. After looking through the menu, I called the waiter. He came with a smile and explained everything I asked about. He gave suggestions and made me feel confident with my order. So even if the menu was missing a few details, the stuff made it easy to understand. They started by placing a basket of soft Egyptian bread on my table. Each piece looked fresh and warm, made from the whole wheat and baked in the traditional way. Right next to it, I got a small bowl of creamy tahini sauce. It was smooth and thick with a little parsley mixed inside for a fresh green taste. This simple combo told me something good was coming. And I was right, the eggplants were next. I started with a dish that is always found on every Egyptian table. It was a small plate of pickled eggplant. Each one was stuffed with a bright red filling made of garlic, chili, herbs, and lemon. The eggplants were soft from boiling, then lightly fried until their skin turned shiny and dark. I could smell the mix of coriander and cumin was coming out clearly from the stuffing. They were served cold, but the flavor felt warm and spicy. I took a slice of pita bread and scooped a full piece of eggplant with the filling. The first bite was tangy and sharp, but the chili gave it a strong kick. The texture was creamy inside, but the outside still had that slight skin bite. It was salty, spicy, sour, and rich at the same time. In Egypt, this dish is not just a side plate. It's the best companion to the Egyptian authentic dishes, such as Molokhia, full mudammas, and even Koshari. No real Egyptian breakfast or lunch feels complete without this kind of appetizer. This version had the home-style taste that felt like it was made at someone's kitchen, not in a restaurant. It brought flavor, memory, and a little fire to the start of my meal. And that's exactly what I came here for. After the pickled eggplants, I tried something baked. It looked like a crispy pie, but it was soft inside. This dish is called Egyptian Rokak. It's made with many thin phyllo sheets filled with cooked ground beef. The beef was seasoned with black pepper and a little onion. Then they baked it until the top became golden. When I cut through it, the top made a soft crackle sound, but inside it was warm, juicy, and full of flavor. Rokak is a traditional dish in Egypt. It came from the old Ottoman Empire, but Egyptians made it their own. They love to make it during holidays and family gatherings. This one tasted like home cooking. It was soft from inside and crispy on the edges, and the beef had a nice spice balance. It was not spicy but full of warm flavor. Each bite had a soft crunch from the top and soft meat below. This dish is simple, but it takes love and time to make. It reminded me of food made with care. I enjoyed it with the tahini sauce from before. The tahini sauce made a good match with the crispy rokak, and it felt like eating something from a big family table. So if you love meat and baked pies, you will enjoy this too. It's filling, warm, and full of comfort. I ordered the individual koshari platter. This is Egypt's most famous comfort food. It may look simple at first, but every part of it has something special. The dish came with layers of rice, brown lentils, pasta, and chickpeas. All of them were soft, warm, and cooked just right. On top, they added golden fried onions. They were crispy and gave the plate a deep toasted smell. Next to it, they placed 2 small bowls. The first one was a red tomato sauce made with crushed tomatoes, garlic, onion, vinegar, and spices like cumin, chili, and oil from fried onions. The second one was a sharp sauce called daka made with vinegar, fresh garlic, chili, cumin, and dried thyme. I started by pouring the tomato sauce over everything, then added just a little daka on top for an extra kick. As soon as I took a bite, I could feel the mix of soft rice, chewy pasta, and tender chickpeas. The crispy onions broke with each spoon and gave a nice crackle with every bite. The tomato sauce gave it a sweet and sour taste, and the garlic made it feel bold and exciting. It was warm, filling, and full of energy. Even without meat, this plate felt like a full lunch. The mix of flavors kept changing with every bite, so I never got bored. This koshari platter felt like real street food, but with the care of homemade cooking. It was tasty, traditional, and made with heart, and I would happily eat it again. I ordered one of the most famous street food in Egypt. It's called Hawawshi. It's made with a fresh bread that is filled with ground meat. The meat is mixed with spices, onions, and sometimes parsley or chili. The bread is then grilled or baked until the outside becomes golden and crispy. When it came to the table, the smell was rich and warm. I could smell garlic, black pepper, and a little cumin in the air. The bread was soft in the middle and crunchy on the outside. Inside, the meat was juicy and full of flavor. The spices were mixed deep into the meat, so the taste was balanced and smooth. It was a little spicy but still easy to enjoy. Each bite felt like something cooked at home with care. In Egypt, people make Hawawshi in many different ways. Some cook it in the oven with a little oil or butter. Others grill it directly on the grill. In Alexandria, they use 2 layers of dough instead of stuffing bread. But in other countries, it has a different name. In Jordan, Lebanon, and Syria, people call it arayis. In these countries, it's always grilled on fire and never baked. Even the bread is thinner and the spices may be different. But the idea is the same. It's a ground meat cooked inside warm bread. Some people eat it with tahini sauce or yogurt. Others enjoy it with pickles or salad on the side. It's not a big meal, but it's full of comfort and flavor. I liked the crunchy outside and soft spiced meat inside. It felt simple but strong. This is the kind of food that brings people together. And I would order it again without thinking twice. I ordered a plate of Egyptian Mombar. It came fresh, hot, and full of color. The pieces were placed on a bed of green parsley. They looked rich, juicy, and well cooked. Mombar is made from clean sheep intestines. They are stuffed with rice, spices, and herbs. Each piece is then boiled until the rice is soft. Then they fry it until the skin becomes golden and crispy. The smell was deep and earthy. There was something comforting about it. I picked up one piece and took a bite. The skin had a soft crackle when I bit through. Inside, the filling was packed with flavor. There was rice, tomato, and a mix of fresh greens. I could taste garlic, onion, and warm spices like cumin and coriander. The herbs gave it a fresh and light aftertaste. It was not too oily. The frying gave it a crisp edge, but the inside stayed moist. I liked how the filling held together without falling apart. Each bite felt balanced and smooth. This dish is often served during holidays and family events. But for me, it felt like a full meal all by itself. It was rich but not too heavy. And every bite told a story of a tradition. If you have never tried Egyptian Mombar, this is the kind of food that surprises you in the best way. It looks simple, but it's full of care and flavor, and I would definitely order it again. The grilled meat platter came to the table hot and fresh. It was served on a bed of chopped parsley. There were skewers of lamb kebab and pieces of kofta. Both looked juicy and had a deep grilled color. You could see the light char on the outside from the fire. A grilled red pepper sat on the side of the plate for a touch of heat. I took my first bite of the kebab. It was firm, rich, and full of smoky flavor. The meat was well marinated and had a bold grilled taste. It was tender but still had a good bite. Each piece was cooked evenly from the outside to the center. Then I moved to the kofta. It was soft and juicy with a smooth texture. I could taste the mix of spices, onion, and a little fresh parsley. The fat inside the meat gave it flavor without making it greasy. It felt like something made in a family kitchen with care. I dipped both the kebab and kofta into the tahini sauce on the side. The sauce was cold and creamy with a light flavor. It balanced the heat from the meat and added a soft finish to each bite. I picked up a piece of bread and wrapped it around a piece of kofta. It made the bite even better. The bread was soft and held the meat perfectly. Every bite gave me flavor, texture, and warmth. This is the kind of meal that feels simple but full of tradition. No tricks, no extra decoration, just good meat cooked the right way. If you enjoy grilled dishes, this plate gives you the full experience, and I would happily eat it again. The lamb ribs came on a big white plate. They were placed over a bit of chopped green parsley. Each rib had a golden brown color with dark grill marks. The fat on top looked soft and a little crispy. The smell was amazing and full of smoky spice. I could see the meat shining under the light. I picked one up and took my first bite. The outside was crispy, but the inside was soft and juicy. The meat came off the bone with no effort. The flavor was rich with salt, black pepper, and a little lemon. There was also a light taste of herbs mixed inside. It felt like real home-cooked food. Then I dipped the next piece in tahini sauce. The sauce was smooth and cold with a nutty flavor. It made the bite creamy and balanced the grilled taste. Some ribs had a crispy layer of fat that added more flavor. Other ribs were soft all the way through and full of juice. Each bite was different, but every one was good. The meat was not dry and not too oily. It was grilled the right way and served hot. The smell stayed on my fingers and made me smile. This dish reminded me of slow weekend meals with family. It did not need any bread or rice on the side. The ribs were enough by themselves. I finished the whole plate and felt full and happy. This was a simple dish but made with care, and it's something I would enjoy more than once. The waiter came holding 2 pots in his hands. He walked slowly and stood next to my table. He lifted one pot high and began to pour the green Molokhia soup. The Molokhia came down like a soft green river. Steam was rising and the smell was strong and full of garlic. He kept pouring it up and down with skill and confidence. It was like a dance with the soup, just like in Egypt. I watched him finish and place the clay bowl on my table. The smell of garlic, coriander, and broth was warm and rich. It looked fresh and homemade with a deep green color. I saw the small bubbles moving across the surface. The dish was hot, shiny, and full of life. Next to it, it was Egyptian rice with vermicelli. There was also a few slices of bread. I picked up a small piece of bread and dipped it inside. The Molokhia stuck to the bread like velvet. I took a bite and the taste hit me right away. The garlic was strong but not too much. The coriander gave it a little earth flavor. The texture was smooth and soft on the tongue. It was full of warmth, just like how they serve it at home. Then I took a spoon and poured some over the rice. I mixed them together and took my first bite. The rice was fluffy and held the Molokhia well. Each bite was soft but also full of flavor. The mix of Molokhia and rice felt like comfort food. It was the kind of meal that brings back good memories. I kept going between the bread and the rice. I was enjoying every bite slowly and with care, and the taste stayed strong until the last spoon. This was not just a side dish, it was a full meal. I would gladly eat this again any day, and I can truly say it was worth every bite. This dessert came to my table looking warm and golden. It was served in a clay pot that gave a traditional feeling. The top was toasted in the oven until it turned brown and shiny. I could see crushed pistachios sitting right in the middle. The smell reminded me of sweet milk and roasted nuts. It looked like something made with care and love. The moment felt quiet but very comforting. I picked up my spoon and took my first bite. The texture was soft like pudding, but also a little crispy. I could taste the milk, sugar, and a hint of vanilla in each spoon. There were small pieces of puff pastry inside that felt light and flaky. The pistachio on top added a nice crunch and a deep nutty flavor. Some parts were warm and creamy, others had more texture. I liked that it was not too sweet and felt just right. It tasted homemade, like something made in a family kitchen. The warmth of the dish made it feel extra comforting. Every bite gave me a little bit of history and tradition. It was soft at the bottom but a little crispy near the edge. I could taste the butter from the baked pastry layers. It mixed well with the warm milk and sweet cream. This is the kind of dessert that reminds people of home. I enjoyed it slowly and felt happy with every spoon. I would eat this again for sure and maybe ask for it with some extra nuts. Ali is simple, warm, and truly Egyptian in every way. It was the perfect way to end this meal with a big smile. The glass was cold. The top was frothy and thick like soft snow. The color started light yellow and turned into a deep golden base. It looked like fresh pineapple had just blended and poured. There was no decoration and nothing extra on top. Just a clean, simple, fresh glass of juice. The glass felt nice in my hand and it smelled like a bright morning. So I gave it a stir and took a slow sip. It was cool and sweet with a soft pineapple taste. I could taste real fruit with every sip. No syrup, no sugar tricks, and nothing fake. It was sweet but still light and natural. I liked how smooth it felt in my mouth. It cooled my throat and made the whole moment calm. This was the kind of a drink that makes you slow down. It felt tropical and relaxing at the same time. It was the perfect thing to enjoy after a full meal. Each sip made the table feel fresh again. It felt like a small summer break in the middle of my day. The flavor stayed with me after the last sip. It was made with care and served just right, and I would come back for it anytime. The glass was full of color, a soft red juice with a light pink top. It looked smooth and fresh, like it came straight from a sliced watermelon. The service was creamy and full of frozen foam, and the color was deep like summer fruit. I picked it up slowly and started to mix it with my straw. The texture was thick and natural. No smell of sugar, only the real scent of fruit. I took a sip and felt the cold hit my tongue. The taste was sweet but not too heavy. There was no fake flavor and no syrup. It felt like biting into a cold watermelon on a hot day. The juice moved gently in the glass. Every sip was fresh and balanced. There were no extra spices or mixes inside, just real watermelon turned into something smooth. I kept drinking it slowly. It cooled me down and made me feel light. This was a juice made simple and right. No artificial flavors, no sugar tricks, just pure flavor in a glass. And I would come back again for it. It was a quiet drink that spoke with taste. The coffee arrived with a warm scent that rose gently from the pot. It came in a small white cup. The top had a light foam that showed it was brewed slowly and with care. The color was rich and deep, almost like dark chocolate. It had that bold smell. No milk, no sugar unless you ask for it. Just strong, classic, and serious. The first sip was thick and earthy. There was no bitterness at the start, but after a few seconds the bold flavor stayed on my tongue. It reminded me of the old mornings in Amman and Cairo coffee shops. This kind of coffee is not just a drink. It's part of a conversation, a break, or a memory. It asks you to slow down and stay present. And that's exactly what I did. That's how a meal should end. The price of the pickled eggplant is 8.70 Saudi Riyal. The price of the Egyptian Rokak is 14.78 Saudi Riyal. The price of the Koshari is 14.78 Saudi Riyal. The price of the Hawawshi is 21.74 Saudi Riyal. The price of the rice with vermicelli is 6.96 Saudi Riyal. The price of the Egyptian Mombar is 25.22 Saudi Riyal. The price of the kebab and kofta is 42.61 Saudi Riyal. The price of the lamb ribs is 51.30 Saudi Riyal. The price of the Molokhia is 17.39 Saudi Riyal. The price of Ali dessert is 13.4 Saudi Riyal. The price of the pineapple juice is 13.4 Saudi Riyal. The price of the watermelon juice is 13.4 Saudi Riyal. The price of the Egyptian coffee is 8.70 Saudi Riyal. The total plus the value added tax, which is 15%, is 322.99 Saudi Riyal. I enjoyed this visit from start to finish, but as always, I want to give a fair and honest rating based on the full experience. Let us start with the food. Every dish was full of flavor and made with care. The rice, the bread, the soups, and the meats all tasted like real home cooking. I could feel the tradition in every bite. The Molokhia was rich and deep in flavor, and the ribs were tender and juicy. The Mombar, Koshari, and Rokak brought warmth and comfort to the table, but the menu did not include any details for health or allergy needs. So for that reason, I think a 4.6 out of 5 is the right and fair rating. Now for the service. The staff were kind, polite, and explained everything I asked about. They served each dish in the right order. Even the Molokhia was poured in a traditional way that made me smile. They opened early and made me feel welcome from the very beginning. So I'm giving the service a strong 4.7 out of 5. And for the atmosphere, the decorations were full of color and charm. The place felt like an Egyptian home with 3 floors and many details to explore. Old-style chairs, painted clay pots, and warm lights made the space feel alive. But it may feel a little busy for some, and the entrance is not easy for everyone. So I believe a fair score for the atmosphere is 4.5 out of 5. Now let me talk quickly about parking and access. There is a free parking available right in front of the restaurant on the street, but the main entrance is a step above ground level and there is no wheelchair ramp. So customers with wheelchairs may find it hard to enter the restaurant without help. This visit was warm, rich, and full of flavor, and I am happy to share it with you.
So this was my experience today at Marboha restaurant. I hope that you enjoyed it. If you like the video, please give it a thumbs up, drop a comment down below, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Thank you for watching, and just remember, each bite tells a story. See you in the next one. Bye.